Hello, Slingshot friends. Well, this is Charles here. Today's sort of intermittent cloud and the weather's supposed to turn foul, so I thought I would do a little run with my Slingshot test bed today and show you how the thing works. Before I get started, I'll show you a couple of little modifications I've made on it. I'm going to just stretch this out a little bit so that we can get a good view of what's happening. And then I'm going to come over and I'm going to pick up the camera and show you what the changes are. So just bear with me here. Alright. So this is the test bed slingshot that I showed you the other day. And I've made two significant changes. One is I have hooked up an automatic release on that mechanical release from Danco. Well, you can see that you have to push this button to get the thing to release. And I tried drilling a hole here, but you know, it's just too tough. I couldn't drill a hole to insert anything. So what I did is I just made a little trigger gizmo with some wire here, and I can just slip it around the trigger on the release, and this trigger sticks out to the side so that when you pull it back it will contact a stop and automatically fire it at a fixed distance. So the stop I just made out of some scrap that I had sitting around in the shop, and so this just clamps onto the 2x4 whatever distance I want along here, and then this blade will contact the trigger mechanism and release it. So let me see if I can crank it back and you can get a view of how it's going to work. So as I'm cranking along, it gets closer and closer, and then eventually that stop contacts that trigger and it pulls it and releases. Okay, I'll show it to you in action here in a minute. The other change that I've made is that this drum diameter was originally quite small, you know, very small, and so all I did was to wrap a few wraps of sort of plastic hall runner, rubberized hall runner around it and tape it in place so that the drum is a little bit bigger, so it will retract a little bit faster than what I was doing before. Alright, well, I'm going to put this back up in a minute. Well, I should show you, I've got my crony set up right here, and so I'll just be firing right over the crony, and we'll just use it as a test for consistency and to see how close the shots are when I shoot, say, 4 or 5 shots, and we'll just measure and see how bad the spread is in the velocities. The slingshot I'm using today is just this natural that I have clamped in. Somebody made this natural for me. It's and I just clamp it in place here. I've got some wing nuts, so I can just clamp anything I want in there, set it up to the same height as my release, and presto, it should work just fine. Alright, I'm going to put the camera back now, and I'll take a few shots and we'll see how this thing works. Alright, so back on the stand, I hope. Yep, looks like you can see me there. Alright, so I just moved the release mechanism down fairly close to the slingshot. I've got a bucket of 3/8" steel here just to use for this little demo, and put it in the pouch, hook it into the mechanical release. Let me turn on the crony here. If I've got everything lined up correctly, we should just be able to take a shot. I think I want that crony pointing just a little bit more this way so that we don't get an error when it fires. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Alright, so here we go. Drawing it back. Here comes the trigger mechanism. Bang, and it shoots, and it'll shoot at the same spot every time. Okay, so I'll load another one in. to see what the crony says. Standard deviation will tell us how much spread there was in the velocities. Alright, so here we go. One. This one should be two. It's not the fastest reset time in the world, but still it's not too bad. That's three. That's four. I'll do one more. That's six. Alright. Well, I'm going to take the camera off and go over here and we'll have a look at that crony and see what kind of results we get. So let's just walk over here. I'll remove the shield from the crony so we have a good view. And now let's see. Oops. I think that error 2 was just because I flipped the shield on the crony. Let's see if we can see that there. Okay. So I'll read them off in any case. Okay. Low was 198.5, high was 208.9. Looks to me like the average was 203. I don't know what ES is. Standard deviation was 4.35, so it's about, most of the shots will be within plus or minus 4.35 feet per second on either side of the average. So 6 shots, we got a 202.1, 199.1, 198.5, 201.2, 208.9, and that's it. Okay. So that gives you some idea. You know, it's be hard to do handheld shots that many and have them that close together in velocity. Some of the difference in velocity is due to slight differences in these steel balls. Some of them are irregular. You can see that they have little divots on one side. These are imperfects that come from ball bearing manufacturers, and if they have a flat on one side, then they'll be a little bit light and so on. So these are not all from the same batch, but you can see but there are slight variations if you try weighing your own. So all things considered, I'm pretty happy with my test bed slingshot. It allows me to set the draw length to whatever I want, and it automatically fires the ammo for me, so there's no question of my intervention at all. It just depends on how the mechanical release releases things. Okay, so that's it for today. I hope you guys will be inspired and try making one of these gizmos yourself. It's really quite easy. I just cobbled it together from bits and pieces of stuff I had sitting around the shop, and it works quite well. So I'll be using it to test a number of things a little bit later. All right, you guys. Hope you have a good day. Take care. Talk to you later.